Hello viewers, so welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode today, I've got the news for you. I want to update you for those that want to come into Canada to come and study. I'll be talking about the postgraduate work permit. I've done previous video about this in the past, but I feel I need to update it by enlightening, especially for those that want to come into Canada. What is a postgraduate work permit? What are the requirements? How do you qualify for it? Who doesn't qualify for it? Those are the information I'll be giving you in this episode today. You want to grab a cup of water, please? This episode is loaded as always.
Hello viewers, I've got the good news for you. Are you a new immigrant into Canada, or you're planning to come into Canada very soon? Have you read this book? Yes, Coming to Canada, a book written by Chidi Uwuchukwu. This book is very informative and very insightful for new immigrants that comes into Canada. You get a lot of information on how you can settle down in Canada very fast. The book tells you your first 7 days in Canada, before your departure from wherever you're coming from, strategies to succeed in Canada, looking for jobs in Canada, how do you go about it, Canadian work culture, driving in Canada, what does it look like, marital relationship in Canada, parenting in North America, home ownership, getting involved, community leadership and politics. These are the insightful information that you can get from this book. Coming to Canada, I've read this book and I can recommend it. So you can actually go online, Amazon, and get this book. And if you use my promo code Bernardino, you'll be getting a 5% discount on this book. To be sincere with you, the information you're going to get from this book, you can compare it with the price you'll be spending to get this book. So link in the description below. Use my promo code Bernardino and you'll be getting a discount on this book.
All right, for those of you that don't know, what is a postgraduate work permit? Postgraduate work permit is a permit that allows you to work after your study, after completing your study from a designated learning institution in Canada. That's the work permit that you get that allows you to work in Canada. And not only that, you can actually use that pathway of the experience you get from working in Canada to apply for Canadian Experience Class through NOC OA or B job. And from there, you can become a permanent resident in Canada. Yes, that was the pathway through which I got a permanent resident in Canada. Don't forget, I came in on the study and I applied for my postgraduate work permit. And through the after my experience working at Amazon, I was able to apply for Canadian Experience Class because the job I did then was under NOC A. And I was able to get my permanent resident. So that is what postgraduate work permit is all about. So in this video, knowing this background about what it's all about, I'll be telling you what are the requirements, how do you qualify for this, and what can you do in order for you to tap into this opportunity. All right, so now let's look at what are the things that qualify to, what are the requirements that makes you qualify for a postgraduate work permit after studying in Canada. The first thing is they have completed an academic, vocational or professional training program at an eligible institution in Canada that is at least 8 months in duration, leading to a degree, diploma or a certificate. So that means that you've completed a program in Canada, a vocation training program, whichever a degree, postgraduate diploma, whichever one, you've completed it in Canada, and it is nothing less than 8 months. So that means that anything less than 8 months program, it is not accepted. So this goes out to those of you that want to come into Canada. I've seen some people that are coming to Canada to come and do a program that is just for 6 months, 7 months. If you do that kind of program, I'm so sorry, you will not be eligible for postgraduate work permit, because don't forget, on IRCC website, which I'll be linking in the video description, it states categorically that it has to be 8 months and above. So anything less than that doesn't qualify you for a postgraduate work permit. And I do not want you to waste the tuition fee, because if you do anything less than 8 months, you would not be qualified for a postgraduate work permit. And in addition to this, just like I read, you need to make sure you've studied in a designated learning institution. Not all schools in Canada, after you study there, qualifies you for a postgraduate work permit. So that means you need to examine carefully. In this video description, I'll be linking how you can actually decide for yourself which school is actually a designated learning institution and qualifies you for a postgraduate work permit after you're done studying there. The next qualification is they have maintained full-time student status in Canada. During each academic session of the program or programs of study, they have completed this and submitted as part of their graduation work permit application. Exceptions can be made only for the following: leave from studies, final academic session. So let me break this down. So what that simply suffices is that you need, in order for you to qualify for a postgraduate work permit when you're done, is that you need to maintain a full-time status. That means part-time is not allowed. You need to maintain a full-time study while in school. So you have to be full-time. You can't be doing part-time in school, and at the end of the day, you want to apply for a postgraduate work permit. No, you have to be full. You have to maintain full-time status, because when you're applying for this postgraduate work permit, the visa officer that is scrutinizing your application will delve into this, look into it to be sure that you maintain that status while in school. Anything otherwise, you do not qualify. Under this rule, there are some exceptions which was stated, and it is that leave from study. So if you get a leave from study, if you're on a full-time study, but while studying there was a need for you to get a leave of studies, probably you were bereaved or something beyond your control happened, and you got a leave of studies legally from your school, then that can be accepted. You can still be considered by the visa officer. Another thing again that's an exception is the final academic session. So those two things are what qualifies, are the exceptions under this rule. Except anything apart from this, you have to be a full-time, uninterrupted study as a student in Canada in order for you to qualify for postgraduate work permit when you're done studying. The next rule is that you have received a transcript and an official letter from the eligible designated learning institution confirming that they have met the requirement to complete their program of studies. Note, the transcript and official letter must be included in a postgraduate work permit application. So what that point is just saying is that in order for you to apply for postgraduate work permit, you need a letter from the school that you finished from. Take for instance, Seneca College, University of Alberta, Memorial University, whichever school you attended. You need a letter from your department, from your school, stating that you have completed the program of study, either a 1-year program, 2 years program, 4 years program, bachelor's program, whichever the case is. The school needs to give you a completion letter that shows that you have completed your program. And in addition to that, you need to also request for your transcript from your department. The transcript shows all the courses you've taken, and it shows that you completed everything, because these two documents are part of the requirement that you will upload online when you're applying for your postgraduate work permit, and without this you might have issues. All right, so now that you know these criteria, let's look at when is the most appropriate time for you to apply for your postgraduate work permit when you're done schooling. So taking you to the CIRCC website, the rule is simple and it's clear, and it simply says that within 180 days of the date of applying for your post-graduation work permit, applicants must also meet one of the following criteria. 1, they hold a valid study permit. 2, they held a study permit. 3, they were authorized to stay in Canada without the requirement to obtain study permit. So now let me break this down so that you can actually understand. So that means what this rule is just saying is that the moment you're done studying, you've completed your study in school, you have 180 days, that's 3 months if I'm not mistaken, to apply for your postgraduate work permit. And the rule is saying that it's clear, it's stating that within that 180 days, within that 3 months that you're to apply for your postgraduate work permit, you need to make sure you have a status in Canada. You need to make sure that your study permit is still valid. That means you hold a study permit, or you've held a study permit. I mean, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. If you feel you have any question, any clarification on this, drop it in the comment section. It's a situation whereby some people, out of ignorance, because they do not know, they didn't apply as at when due. They applied after 180 days for their postgraduate work permit. This can disqualify you, and you probably begin to have a problem from there. Just like stated on their website, you only have within 180 days after you've completed your study to apply for your postgraduate work permit, and ensure that within that period you have a valid status that keeps you in Canada so that you won't have any issues. Do you think this is good, or you think otherwise? Let me know in the comment section. All right, so we've talked about the criteria that makes you qualify for this. We've talked about the time that you're supposed to apply for this. Let's now look at who are those that do not qualify, that are ineligible to apply for postgraduate work permit in Canada after study. Still on IRCC website, where I get my information, because that is the best place where you can get the incisive information. Their ineligibility, who are those that do not qualify? First, students are ineligible if they have previously been issued a postgraduate work permit. So what that suffices to say is that if you have, the rule is this: if you have applied for postgraduate work permit before in the past, you cannot apply on the second time. So once you have applied for your postgraduate work permit and you have been granted the full deserved work permit duration, you cannot reapply again. Even if you go to school thereafter, you cannot get it. So you only get your postgraduate work permit once. So If you don't meet that rule, you are not eligible. The second is receive funding from Global Affairs Canada, GAC. So if while studying in Canada, GAC, Global Affairs Canada, sponsored you, gave you money, grant, you are not qualified for postgraduate work permit. Participated in Government of Canada Award Program funded by GAC, still saying the same thing. If you have done that, you are not qualified for postgraduate work permit. There are so many other rules that you can actually visit on their website and read for yourself. One more that I would like to share is that completed the majority of the credit towards the completion of a program of study by distant learning. So if majority of your study was done through distant learning, you are not qualified. This is an exemption to the rules that was promulgated, I think last year, that stated that if you are outside Canada because of the pandemic and you completed 50% of your study, and at the point 100% of your study outside Canada, you're still eligible to apply for your postgraduate work permit. That is an exception. But anything apart from that exception, if you've done the majority of your study from distant learning, you are not qualified to apply for postgraduate work permit. So I want you to go on their website, which I'll be linking in the video description, to actually go and read more about who is ineligible to apply for postgraduate work permit, and you will better understand it. I hope you've been understanding the video that I brought for you today, the information that I brought for you today. If you do, please, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, it doesn't cost you anything, it doesn't bite. Please hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. And endeavor to please share our videos with your friends and your loved ones, so that they can also get part of this information. All right, so now let's move forward by talking about based on your study, what is the corresponding duration of postgraduate work permit that you get? I get a lot of questions in this regards. Oh, I did a 1-year program. How many year postgraduate work permit am I entitled to? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, as the case is. So that's what I'll be telling you next. All right, so this information is right from IRCC website. So if the official length of your program of study is less than 8 months, you are not eligible for postgraduate work permit. I already said this and I cannot overemphasize this. Anything less than 8 months, you are not eligible for postgraduate work permit. Please don't fall into this pit. The second thing is less than 2 years but more than 8 months, you will get a work permit for a period equal to your course duration. More than 8 months but less than 2 years. In most cases, you will get 1 year postgraduate work permit. Okay, if it's less than 2 years, you will get 1 year postgraduate work permit. So moving to the next one, 2 years or more will be granted a work permit of 3 years. All right, so that's the sweet part of it. If you do a program, a diploma program, a postgraduate program, a bachelor's program that is more than 2 years, that is 2 years or more, you will get a 3 years postgraduate work permit. That is the icing on the cake, because that is what gives you enough time. 3 years is enough time to actually get the work experience in not A or B, so that you can apply for your Canadian experience class. So that's suffice to say is that if you do a bachelor's program for 4 years, you are entitled to a 3 years postgraduate work permit. If you do a diploma or a postgraduate diploma or a master's program for 2 years, you're entitled to a 3 years postgraduate work permit. And based on this information, the highest you can get in terms of postgraduate work permit is 3 years, and the least you can get is 1 year. So once again, if you do anything less than 8 months program, you are not entitled to a postgraduate work permit in Canada. All right, what do you think about this? Do you think it is fair enough for people that do not do a up to 8 month program not to get anything? Let me know in the comment section. And also, do you think that program of 8 months, above 8 months and less than 2 years is well deserving to have a 1 year postgraduate work permit? Let me know in the comment section. And lastly, do you think it is well deserving for a program of 2 years and above to get a 3 years postgraduate work permit? I like to read that in the comment section. You know, I try as much as possible to oblige your questions with an answer. So having been equipped with this information, what can you do? What is the outcome? What's the benefit of a postgraduate work permit? Yes, I'll simplify that for you. So a postgraduate work permit, just like I said, is the opportunity for you to work in Canada, eligible after finishing your study, you can work in Canada. So based on the information that I gave you earlier, in order for you to apply for Canadian Experience Class, which is a pathway through which international students can get permanent residence in Canada, you only need a 1 year work experience in any of these job knock O, A, or B. So that suffices to say that you can't just work in any job and believe you're going to be qualified for permanent resident using the Canadian experience class. No, it has to be knock O, A, or B. So what jobs fall under knock O, A, or B? I will implore you to go online and actually go and search for jobs that falls under the purview of O, A, and B, so that you can be better enlightened. So if you get a 1 year work experience, take for instance, after you finish your study in project management or whatever course you study, you got a manager role, which is a knock A job. You get a manager role in any company, any company, then you'll be eligible for 1 year experience. You'll be eligible to apply for Canadian experience class. Do you understand this? If not, feel free to drop it in the comment section and I will do further explanation and try to answer your question. Okay, viewers, if you have any question, once again, feel free to drop it in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please, it doesn't bite, it doesn't cost you anything. Hit on the subscribe button, hit on the likes button if you enjoyed this video, and share this video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. Till I come back to you again on this YouTube channel, giving you an insightful information so that you can be better equipped towards your journey to Canada, or if you're presently in Canada. See you in Canada very soon. Peace out.